Lua Nova Codes of Manifestation. Códigos de manifestação da Lua Nova.
Code 182. Let the fire refine you, not consume you. Bon dia, new moons. I'm Josie the Mustang, the afro-latina goddess of witches, and you're aligned with the frequency of the luanovapodcast. And in today's collective reading, this is going to be a regular collective reading. I think that there's a lot going on energetically. There's a lot going on astrologically. It's too much to put into one reading, because then I know me, I'm going to be like, well, I should have done this type of reading. I should have done this. So I decided to just leave it alone and leave it as is. Also, my allergies are bothering me terribly today, so I hope that I don't sound too snotty. I'm hanging in there for you, I promise, but I am not feeling 100% today. But something I want to discuss with everybody. First, I want to take a moment to thank the Chinese community for allowing us to participate in Chinese New Year and teaching us about their traditions. I, as far as I know, don't have any Chinese heritage, but I have a very rich mix of two cultures, and to be able to celebrate somebody else's culture and learn all about it, it's one of my favorite things. I love learning about other backgrounds beyond just my own, other languages, everything. So it has been honestly fun and eye-opening to see how the Chinese community celebrates their New Year. Keep in mind there are several New Years in one calendar year, so it is up to you to decide which one you celebrate, what traditions you celebrate, what traditions you create. And the spell that I'm currently working on is actually based on the Chinese New Year and the Year of the Fire Horse. And that has a lot to do with my own nickname and my own connection with horses in particular. If you're not new to my show, then you already know this. But for new listeners, a long time ago, way back in it is a long time ago now. Back in 2019, I was given the nickname Josie the Mustang by the man who sold me my Mustang. And it stuck. It was funny. It ended up being my username, and it wasn't, I've never had like a car social media, but I'm not one of those people, but it stuck. And so I've been Josie the Mustang ever since, and have always loved horses so much. And horses are an expensive pet, I'll put it that way. So that is why I don't have any yet, but I am a master manifester. So the key word here is yet. I have always had animals around me though. And you all know how I feel about Hoshi. And so I just remember that I used to live in this apartment complex in Texas that had horses. Not uncommon in Texas, like you would think it would, like you think it would be. But I got to, sorry, if I'm rattling things, my laptop just moved. I touched it. But I remember taking Hoshi to meet those horses, and he was terrified because obviously he was 5 pounds of fur, and the horses immediately loved him, and their spirit and their energy is why I've always connected with them. Also, you all know that half of my background is Mexican indigenous, and horses are an important part of my history. So I love them very much, and I think that the Year of the Fire Horse is vital and teaches us a lesson in moving forward and freedom. And moving forward is something that my grandmother said to me before she passed away, is basically to keep moving forward, to keep moving, even when it's difficult. And with that being said, I need to talk to all of my new moons. This is serious. Don't cry. Don't get upset. Don't get sad. Everything is fine with Lua Nova and Court of the New Moon. But I need to talk to you about something that is very serious. And I'm okay physically. I'm a little confused right now emotionally, because I think everybody is during this stage of their life. But I've always been intentional about what I do share. Talking about Hoshi and the passing of my furry best friend was extremely difficult for me, because I don't tell people about my personal life. Yes, hashtag Virgo, but it's just like many other Virgos. When it comes to my personal life, I am very tight-lipped. I don't say anything. My business is my business. I'm here to teach you manifestation. I am a master manifester and come from a lineage of witches, and am an outstanding witch myself. So When it comes to my personal life though, I oftentimes am like, well, how's that helping you? What do you need to know that for? For instance, just as a sidebar before I jump into it, I give a lot of sidebars if you're new here. I will never forget somebody recently asking me, why did you record your season 1 with the old iPhone 13? At the time, it wasn't that old, the iPhone 13, and I do still have it. But also, although I knew that I could just get recording equipment, I wasn't so sure about podcasting. I didn't know what I was doing. And so I was like, if I can do this on an iPhone 13, then I can do this. And yes, now I have a whole recording setup, but it had nothing to do with not being able to manifest what I needed, because I already had what I needed. It had everything to do with can I stay consistent? If I can pick up my phone and record all of the time. Oh, I'm sorry. New moons. One sec. Okay. Sorry about that, new moons. Although it was not a text from spirit. It was a text that I needed to look at really quickly. But yes, as I was saying, just to wrap that part up, when I started Lua Nova, I essentially was telling myself, yes, you can buy all the equipment and jump in front of the microphone, but let's see how intentional you are with just your phone. And so before I ever upgraded to the phone that I have today, I was like, I'm going to use this old phone and I'm going to record. And if I can stay consistent with it, then I will reward myself. And then I did with this entire setup that I'm currently in front of right now. So it had nothing to do with not being able to manifest it. I don't wait on the universe. I command it. So I am very much so an alchemist. But I said all that, gave you the sidebar, and I want to talk to you about something. And I'm hesitating because it's uncomfortable to talk about my personal life. But like I said, I'm very intentional about what I do share. And I believe in alignment with what I teach, okay? Sometimes alignment means recognizing when there is a chapter that has reached its natural completion. And I'm at peace with the decision that I'm going to share with you. Eric and I are no longer together. I feel clear, grounded, confident, and I'm moving forward happily and at peace. This is not what I want people to understand when it comes to breaking up. And I see this as somebody who is actually divorced. People make this assumption that you're depressed, that everything's falling apart, that it's woe is me. And it's like, well, that might be the case for some of you, but that's not the case for me. Anytime that a relationship ends for me, it's very much so intentional. And you could say that that's Virgo coded all the way, but yeah, I guess it is, or it's just my personality type. And that I'm aware energetically that when it comes to everything that the universe is giving you, because you commanded it, that it sometimes means everybody doesn't get to come with you. When Hoshi passed away, that was that biggest lesson for me, is he wouldn't get to come with me as Lua Nova grows. And that as I was beginning to go into another chapter of my life, knowing that he had completed that part of his life with me, at least in the physical realm, that it meant that I was really about to go into something big, and that I had to do it without my furry best friend. And now I have to do it without my other best friend. So thank you, Eric, for being a big part of Lua Nova. He is I'm trying to decide what he would be as far as when it comes to the Lua Nova team, but he is an important part of the Lua Nova team, and I hope will continue to be. I consider him my other lab rat. I am the first lab rat. So anytime that I am testing out certain things about manifestation that I have learned, such as Psych K, or actually doing a different version of the 369 method, I will use him as my other lab rat besides myself, or I will get his feedback on certain episodes, etc. So that will continue. And I, again, just want to take a moment to say thank you to Eric. Everything's going to be better than just fine, because what do I always tell all of you, and what have you heard a million times from a million manifestation coaches? Everything always works out for me. And so it is. All right, new moons, we have got to get into this reading. And I don't like having to rush, so I don't care. I'm going to have to take my time, even though, yes, I am, as always, running a little bit late for other things that I need to get done today. But I refuse to rush this reading, so one moment. New moons, I think you were going to be hearing this at the beginning of the collective reading episode, which, by the way, also will be airing on the real anniversary of Lua Nova. So happy birthday, Lua Nova. The very first episode of Lua Nova aired February the 23rd of 2023. Now that episode is no longer available to the general public, but Patreon, it is now available to you. So if you check your Patreon, and you should have already received a notification for this, you can now listen to the very first episode of Lua Nova. It was all over the place. It was a mess, but I had no idea what I was doing, and I had no team, and I was recording from an old iPhone. At least this insert is from a new iPhone. But new moons, that is for my Patreon members. I did find some more archived episodes of mine, and I may upload them. I'm not sure yet, to the Patreon. So if you see them, you see them. If you're wondering what is this? They're old episodes from season 1 that nobody has access to except me. And now Patreon. So the next thing I want to talk to you all about is something that I briefly mentioned about how I have been listening to my own personalized subliminals. I do make my own, what I call affirmation audios. What happens on these audios, or what I'm creating, I should say, on these audios, are voices that say different affirmations over and over on a loop. The loop can be between 15 to 40 minutes. It depends on how long I want it. And then I add subliminals in a different voice. Yes, all of this is on purpose. And I didn't even understand the science of this until after I completed it, but apparently there is a science to this and what it's doing to the brain. What I decided one day, as I was making one of these audios, what if I did one of these methods, these manifestation methods, and combined it with the affirmation audios that I'm always creating? Would that change anything? Am I going to feel any different, etc.? And I decided to use the 369 method. I have talked about the 369 method on my show. There's a 333 method, 777 method, etc. Angel number methods, you name it. There's a manifestation method for it. Well, the 369 method is based on the philosophy of Nikola Tesla and his belief that the numbers 369 held the codes and the secrets of the universe. He was heavily obsessed with the numbers 369. And I definitely recommend looking more into Nikola Tesla and who he was and his story. Okay. So Tesla had this strong obsession with these numbers. From there, the manifestation community created a method. Now, there are many different ways to do the 369 method, but I'm going to teach you a standard way. You don't have to write anything down unless you want to, but you take an affirmation and make sure that this affirmation covers whatever it is you want to manifest, and make sure that this affirmation is focused on one thing. We're not going to focus on 5 million things that we want to manifest. Only on one for now. And you're going to write it in the morning or whenever it is that you get up for the day, because some people do work at night. You're going to write it 3 times. And then a few hours later, you're going to write it 6 times. Now, the reason I said a few hours later is that the universe does not understand time in the way that humans have created time. It is not the same. 5 minutes to the universe and 5 minutes to us. It's not the same. Okay. And then before you go to sleep that evening or later on in that evening, you are going to write the same affirmation 9 times. And yes, all of this is done in the exact same day. Now, I'm not going to tell you that this manifestation method is the best ever. I think all of these methods work depending on who the person is, what they're manifesting, what their limiting beliefs are, how their nervous system is. This is just strictly a method that I'm going to teach you that is actually more based on the audio that you're listening to. Like I said, I create my own audios. I am going to be creating one for you and then one for Patreon. Now, the reason why the one for Patreon will be behind a paywall is because it's going to be lengthy. It's not going to be the type that I make for you. Okay. The type that I make for you will be its own episode so that there's not a bunch of other things in between and you can just listen to that audio by itself. But on my particular audio. I even named it 369 Manifestation Affirmation Audio with Subliminals. My affirmation that is playing on a loop is the exact same one that I'm writing down. The subliminals are also saying what I'm writing down, but then also things that are related to what I'm writing down. The subliminals also have my voice. So I added one voice that's not mine, my own, and then the affirmations are not in my voice. Okay. But I did choose a friendly voice, and yes, that's important. All of this is based on neuroscience, etc. I definitely recommend looking more into that. I can't say that I will have an episode on it. Maybe I will, but there's a lot to it. So I don't really want to bore everybody with the science behind it. So if I can condense it and make it less sleep inducing, then I will. So I then, to all of my audios, add music that is relaxing. So I will add either lo-fi or meditation music. Okay. So what I did is that I found a lo-fi cover of a Bad Bunny song. And so perfect for this, because when your brain hears a song that it recognizes, it's going to pay attention. It's immediately going to recognize that melody and pay closer attention. So when you are writing, think about it, you are writing exactly what you're hearing. What do you think that's doing for your manifestation? I think it's working. In fact, I know it is. Now, this is the beginning for me. This is a method that is 33 days long. After the 33 days, what you can do, let's say that you manifested in 6 days. You can choose to continue, such as, for instance, those of you who are manifesting money. You can continue this method. You can switch to something else, or you can just take a break, because it's perfectly fine to take a break after you have manifested whatever it is that you want. Manifesting is all about being in the frequency of whatever it is you want. It is not about desperation. It is not about the feeling of, I have to keep this. What am I going to do? What happens if everything blows up? If you feel like that, yes, your manifestation will only be temporary. You can manifest from lack. Don't let anybody tell you that you can. You can manifest from limiting beliefs. However, I teach you the opposite of, well, that's really not good, is it? It's probably not the frequency you want to stay in. This is why I focus so much on the nervous system. This is why in season 1, I did talk about limiting beliefs, because they do block the manifestations altogether. Okay. And if you don't have your own personalized audios, you don't make your own audios, what I do recommend that you do. And I'm not going to shout out any one particular YouTube channel, TikTok account, anything like that. But I do recommend probably finding this on YouTube so that it's a long enough audio. Go on YouTube or wherever, if you don't want to go on YouTube, and look up a subliminal or an affirmation audio or even a manifestation related song that is connected to what it is that you want to manifest. So let's say that you want to manifest getting married. If you want to listen to Young and Beautiful by Lana Del Rey, which is oftentimes played at weddings, while you are writing this down, right? Writing out your affirmation 3 times, 6 times, 9 times, that is not any different than what I'm doing. Now, I'm adding more to mine because you can hear you can't hear it, but my voice is in the subliminals. I went above and beyond. It doesn't mean that my method's going to work before yours does. Okay. And I want to know, those of you who decide to do this, if you notice any difference, if you feel any different. All right, new moons, I have been talking forever. This is just supposed to be an insert. But team, when you hear this, please put this at the beginning of the collective reading. And it is our anniversary, Lua Nova. So should we get a cake? Should we get some wine? Maybe we should do both.
By continuing to listen, you are consenting to a collective tarot reading by Josie the Mustang. With over 17 years of experience, Josie approaches tarot with intention and respect. She is not accepting private readings at this time. This message is collective in nature and may or may not resonate. Take what speaks to you and release the rest. Ao continuar ouvindo, Você está consentindo com uma leitura coletiva de tarô feita por Josie the Mustang. Com mais de 17 anos de experiência, Josie aborda o tarô com intenção e respeito. No momento, ela não está aceitando leituras particulares. Esta mensagem é de natureza coletiva e pode ou não ressoar com você. Aproveite o que falar com você e libere o resto.
All right, new moons, let's see. What is your message for this week? Spirit, keep in mind. And by the way, hold on, new moons. A card that came out already, as I was already beginning to shuffle, is the Four of Pentacles. So I see that we are already dealing with some limiting beliefs. And I'm going to talk briefly about limiting beliefs again in just a second. But that is not necessarily the energy I was hoping for you all, but that's okay. Spirit, keep in mind that this message is for my new moons and my new moons only. It's for who it's for. And let's see. Okay. Oh, goodness. Now, see, you guys aren't making any sense today. The Six of Pentacles. Spirit, I need a card to clarify the Four of Pentacles and the Six of Pentacles, because I am slightly confuzzled right now as to what's going on with my new moons. What's going on, guys? You guys want to talk about it? Oh, not the card fell. 1 second, new moons, because I don't like when the card's not in front of me, and when it falls, that annoys me. So 1 second. Okay, let's get back to your reading. And of course, patience, new moons. The last card is the Temperance card. So starting off, I'm already picking up on Taurus energy. Taurus, it is not uncommon for your energy to be front and center. A lot of the times when I'm picking up on one zodiac sign, I try not to necessarily just pinpoint just them, because then other people I've noticed in the collective readings think that the reading's not for them too. This reading is collective, so it's for who it's for. You have to look at your birth chart. For all you know, you might have Taurus in a very important part of your birth chart, and you think this message isn't for you, and it was specifically for you. Okay? So starting off with the Four of Pentacles, there is a scarcity mindset going on, and if you're not familiar with what that means, that is this fear of every time I have money, it's going to go away. Every time I'm financially abundant, something bad's going to happen. I'm going to end up needing this for a bill. I'm going to end up needing to help somebody out, etc., etc. And so that is based on your limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs oftentimes come from trauma. When people assume that our trauma is all based on really terrible things that happened to us when we were 5, they're forgetting that trauma is a lot of different things. Trauma could be that you lost your job once and you lost it in an awful way that, I'm sorry, I just accidentally hit the microphone, that caused you to have to maybe move back in with your parents. You know, we've been there. And trauma, when it comes to money, is very real, and it is not something that we address enough when it comes to teaching manifestation. I think that my focus so much on regulating your nervous system, it's an important part of why there's that money blockage there, okay? Because in order for you to continue to manifest money or anything else, we have got to get that nervous system in check. And this tells me, the Four of Pentacles tells me that it's not for many of you when it comes to your finances. That's not really shocking to me. I think that if you live in the United States especially, that if you are consuming too much media, you will get it into your head that everything is difficult right now. And that is not true. The Four of Pentacles, I like to look at it from another point of view, in that he's saving money, but he's holding on too tightly to it. And so my advice to the man in the Four of Pentacles is to let up just a little bit. Let up just a little bit. The universe is trying to give you more. If you look behind him, it's quite abundant. Look at if you want to look at this card, look at the background. You'll notice that the background, it looks like there's a lot going on, but what I see is full on abundance behind him, which tells me that he's so busy not hoarding his money and still listening to those voices inside of his head that tell him you have to save, you have to work hard, that he doesn't see that the abundance from the universe is just kind of just sitting there. It's almost like it's a stack of money. This is how I see it. A stack of money behind him that he's completely unaware of, and an open bank account just waiting. It's like, okay, at some point, guys, I need you to put this money in there. But you don't even see it because you're so worried about that you won't get any more of it. You're going to get more of it. And when you get more of it, it's when we move on to the Six of Pentacles energy. The Six of Pentacles is what I see in a lot of you. It's this feeling of generosity of, if I eat, everybody eats. And I love that about you because that's definitely my mindset. I don't care. Let's say that it's my favorite anything, and my favorite drink in the world is Saratoga. Closely, I would say a close second is Red Bull. Well, the particular Red Bull. And I think the Red Bull I like is called Strawberry Apricot. It's an orange can. Let's say that I'm sharing it and I'm like, well, there's very little of this left, but I'm going to share it with you. That's my mindset. And so that is typically your mindset too. Your mindset is go get a glass so that I can share this with you. That's how you see your life. That is how you see everything. It's never been about just you wanting to do well, which I'm not surprised that I picked up on Taurus energy, because I noticed that a lot of Taurus are like this. You're very much so like, not only do I love luxury, but I kind of don't like when other people around me don't have it either. The people that I care about are supposed to live nicely like I do. They're supposed to dress nicely like I do. They're supposed to have the best. And when they don't, it's not that you're judging them. It's just that you want more for them. And what I see from you as a part of your limiting beliefs is oftentimes caring way too much about people who don't care enough about themselves. Is you're trying to help people who don't want to be helped. You have got to focus on just your finances right now. You have got to focus on just you moving forward right now so that you can help other people. That's not to say you just don't help somebody out. Let's say that you have a friend and they need somewhere to stay. That's not to say that I'm in no way saying don't help that friend out. I hope that you do. I hope that you help them out, but also keep in mind that you can't hold their hand through everything. And that, when you see that, oh, okay, well, they're going to get back on their feet. You don't stop everything you're doing for your own progress just to make sure that their progress is still going. That's all I'm saying. Okay? Because when you do, that is when you turn back into the Four of Pentacles. You're so busy worrying about everybody else that now you have to hoard your money because you have not energetically cleared out your bank account. You know what I mean? You gotta make room for more. You have to always make room for more. Money is an energy that needs to circulate. Okay, so in order for it to circulate, what you gotta do? Spend it. In order for it to circulate, what do you have to do? Stop holding on to that debit card or that credit card. I hope you're using a credit card and not a debit. Non-stop. You gotta relax into it. And with that comes this last card, the Temperance. Now, the Temperance card, I see all of 2025, the Temperance card was in 90% of my readings. And I know that it had a lot to do with feeling out of balance. And when we think about feeling out of balance, we think a lot about Libra. Libra is mentioned a lot about energetically being balanced, because a lot of people don't know that Libra, the reason why it falls between Virgo and Scorpio is that it covers two different realms. It represents two different sides of us. Duality. A lot of the time this is mentioned with Gemini, but it should be mentioned with Libra. Because what I see, not just for Libras, but everybody in general that we can learn from Libra, is that when they do feel balanced, they're also much more patient. They understand that some so-called manifestation coach on TikTok telling you that your manifestation should come in the next 5 minutes is complete bullshit. And that nobody gets to tell you how the universe works for you. You are the alchemist of your own life, meaning that you decide when it happens. You decide when you're in alignment. You decide when you're out of alignment. You decide how that manifestation will happen. You decide if you will keep it. And patience means that you took the time, Temperance card, to really pay attention to all of the signs that the universe has given you, that you no longer need to be in this scarcity mindset. that everything does keep working out for you if you just paid attention. If you closely paid attention, you would see all of these signs, everything from angel numbers to certain people saying things that you didn't expect them to say, to you look something up and then you end up getting an answer energetically that you didn't expect, just out of nowhere. Let's say that, what I mean by that, let's say you're looking up what you want to eat today. You want to order DoorDash. And at the top of the website, there might be a slogan for that restaurant that you're going to order from. And that slogan is exactly what you needed to hear today. None of that was a coincidence, by the way. None of it. It might say, let's just make up a restaurant. It might, Hello Kitty's Cafe. At the very top, I think there is an actual cafe. I don't know, guys. I'm a Hello Kitty fan, but I'm not that hardcore. At the very top of Hello Kitty's Cafe website that you're about to order DoorDash from, it says, it's going to be okay. And that's exactly what you just needed to hear today. That's it. And this is all an example. That's the temperance card at work too. That's what it's like. That's the energy of it. If you would just accept that it's always going to work out for you. I don't care if you've got to say it to yourself every day. I don't care if you don't believe it. Robotically say it to yourself. Everything always works out for me. Everything always works out for me. If you don't believe it, say it anyway. If you don't believe it, write it down. I don't care how many times you have got to say it to yourself. The more you say it, the more you hear it, the more repetitive it becomes, the easier it is for your subconscious to believe it. And then you go from being the Four of Pentacles to the Six of Pentacles. You see in the Six of Pentacles, he's sharing. He's sharing because he has more than enough to share. He's sharing because he didn't forget about himself first. You'll also notice the Libra scales he's holding. Because he's balanced. He's patient. He is the Temperance card. Keep in mind that when it comes to tarot, each session tells a completely different story. Okay? But the most important one always comes back to the Magician card, that you are the alchemist of your own life. It is time for you to celebrate yourself. I told you that this is a season of celebration. That this is a season of you celebrating you, but everybody else is celebrating you too. I am most certainly celebrating you. And so I need you to keep that in mind as we move forward. Okay? This fire horse energy, when you think of a fire horse, what do you think of? This is a horse with somewhere to go. This is a horse that is like, I am free and nothing is holding me back. I have been patient. I have done everything right. And even if I did it, I'll get it right eventually. The fire horse is free. Okay, and so that is the energy we're going to be taking on for all of 2026 and beyond. But we'll just focus on 2026 for now. And new moons, that is your reading for this week. Oh, we got a text from Spirit. And this week's text from Spirit, how much you want to bet that it's going to tie into the reading I just did? Because it always does. Spirit, what did you text us? Let me see. Oh my goodness. I love it. I love it. I love it. You ready? You hear me shuffling? I had to put the cards to the side. You ready for what I'm about to say? Because what did I just say? That it was about to tie into it. Your angel number this week is 222. Balance. Now is the time to take inventory of your feelings. Are there any feelings of imbalance or resistance? The divine is whispering to remind you that the alignment that you seek also seeks you. The alignment that you seek also seeks you. Breathe. Rest and reset. And the affirmation here says, what feels peaceful and calm easily finds me as I restore the balance within me. And new moons, as I said before, everything always works out for you. Everything. Do I need to just make a whole episode saying that over and over and over again, and you just listen to it on a loop? Let me know. Message me and say, look, I'm reaching out to the Lua Nova team. Get this to Josie ASAP. Please make that into a loop, because I'm tired of AI voices saying it. I want to hear a real voice say it. All right, new moons. Time to go. But I got the new moons for aligning with the frequency of the Lua Nova podcast. If you are new to my show, I haven't said this in I don't know how long, but again, that means thank you in Portuguese, and Lua Nova means new moon. I went completely blank. I'm exhausted, guys. I'm so tired. My body hurts. I worked out a little too hard yesterday, and my throat is killing me, and you might be able to hear the scratchiness in it. Woo! Okay, but that's okay. I'm going to drink some water. I promise I'm going to rest. And with all that being said, Monday's episode is going to be Court of the New Moon. So instead of Court of the New Moon airing once a month on a Wednesday for February, it will be this coming Monday. So it's going to be the Monday episode. It's going to be taking over for Lua Nova just this once. And that is because I need time to catch up with my clients, with Lua Nova. There's a lot going on, and I'm going to take that time to catch up. The Court of the New Moon episode has already been recorded. Speaking of Court of the New Moon, it is a spinoff of Lua Nova. It's a parody of judge shows where I am Judge Josie and I am judging the manifestations and spell work that you have done that have gone very wrong. And so if you have a case that you want to submit, go to courtofthenewmoon.com. If you have questions about maybe today's reading, or you want to know when I will possibly start taking personal clients again, by the way, it won't be anytime soon, but you still have questions, that's okay. Or if you just want to read the disclaimer and learn more about your spiritual consent and listener responsibility, then go to the official Lua Nova website, which is luanovapodcast.net. I want to take a moment to thank all of you who contribute by donating via Venmo and Cash App. Keep in mind that it takes a lot to produce a podcast. So the fact that I am an independent podcaster and have this much of a backing means everything to me. So I do want to take a moment to say thank you in every language to all of my new moons who have contributed via Venmo and Cash App. The Venmo username is @LuaNova. The Cash App username is $LuaNovaPodcast. If you want more content, which by the way, I think you heard it at the beginning of the show, there will be some extra content from way back at the beginning of Lua Nova, which is no longer available to the public. Then you can become a Patreon member by downloading the Patreon app and looking up Lua Nova Podcast, or going to patreon.com/the Lua Nova Podcast. Copyright 2025. Lua Nova, all rights reserved. Yes, I have to say that all the time. It's boring, but I gotta throw it in there. All right, new moons, I will talk to you next week. Actually, you'll be in the courtroom next week with me. Remember, no gum. And before you guys leave today, make sure you pick up all your trash. Make sure you take a deep breath in and exhale the bullshit. And I will talk to you next week, new moons. See you in court. Wait, that sounded ominous. I will see you in the court of the new moon. All right. We have fun at the Court of the New Moon, so I think you're going to enjoy this particular episode. And remember, all brand new episodes of Lua Nova air every single Monday, and episodes of Court of the New Moon air once a month, typically on Wednesdays, but this time they will be on a Monday. Talk to you soon. Ciao, ciao.